We have some new fish in stock. Now these guys just came in about 4 days ago and they are on their 4th day of quarantine right now. They do have a bit of some type of white spot or some type of ciliate on them, but they are currently in copper right now, and we are feeding Metro. So they'll be doing this for about 2 weeks and another 2 weeks of observation. As of right now, it's only 4 days in. They look healthy, but that all can change fast. But we're giving them all their meds and feeding them a bunch and just trying to keep them healthy. So hopefully within that 4 week, 6 week period, these guys will be up for sale. But that is not why I'm making this video today. Today I'm making this video because I wanted to share with you guys a very beautiful mature aquarium. Now this tank is probably about 10 years old, I would say. We took it over from a previous service company. There are some issues with the tank, but we've been dealing with those, and it's definitely come a long way from what it was before. And I definitely feel like it's heading in the right direction, although the fight is not over. But before we get into that, I want to take you guys to a beautiful aquarium that we just installed in a medical facility, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It's only 4 months old, so it's still going through that kind of beginner ugly stage. But this tank's got so much potential, and I would love to hear you guys' opinion down in the comments of what you would put in this aquarium, what we should add. But it's just basically a blank canvas right now. Once we get through this ugly phase and the tank gets more mature, I'm really excited to see what this can develop into. So without further delay, let's head there now. And here we are. I can't wait for you guys to see this tank. So as soon as you open up the doors, here it is, right in the lobby, right in the waiting area. So like, it just draws your eyes in. Like, what a great place to have a saltwater aquarium for everybody to enjoy. Now, like I said, this tank is only 4 months old, so it's still going through the quote-unquote ugly phase. So it's still kind of cycling and pushing through. But this tank really had a big diatom outbreak, a lot of brown algae in here, but it's slowly dying back. But now what's happening, it's going to that next transition, which is the green hair algae phase. So you can look at the rocks there and see some hair algae growing on there. But on this bottom right here, the sand was completely covered in brown algae. And now you can see it's pretty white. It's looking pretty good. So I'm happy that we're leaving that brown stage and we're heading more into the green stage. Good sign. Now, unfortunately, that blue mushroom looks really good. That's a good sign too. Unfortunately, this is a lobby and people are going to see the tank like this. Not everybody understands. There's some brown algae back there in the pockets. Not everybody understands that saltwater aquariums have to go through this. Completely normal, completely natural phase. But we'll get through it. And a couple more months, this rock will have time to cure. It's taking a little bit longer because all this rock was dry rock. None of it was live. We want to make sure that we weren't going to get any pests in this aquarium. Put it through a couple of cleanup crews, so you have an urchin right there. Put a couple hermit crabs, sea cucumber, things like that, because we were expecting the green hair algae phase to come next. We were completely knew this was part of the cycle of the aquarium. As far as livestock go, we have chromis, anthias, PJ cardinals. Nothing too crazy. All smaller fish. We didn't want to put anything too big in here for the simple fact that we just wanted to start with simple, easy to take care of fish. We'll build up to that later. And yeah, these rocks definitely need to cure some more. And so there's plenty of room for more fish. Those anemones are those are looking really pretty. Now I'm not a big fan of putting anemones in tank, but the customers really wanted them, and you got to give the customers what they want. But if it was up to me, I wouldn't have put them in here. But also got some green spotted puffers. We got one there, and I believe there's another one around here somewhere. Oh, there he is down below. So 2 green spotted puffers that are loving life. They're getting spoiled here, eating like crazy. I just put this little Bam Bam Zoa frag in here. And what else we got here? Oh, we got some rock flower anemones, which I want to put a lot more of those in here. And then another bubble tip anemone over here to the side. That anemone was just put in. Then we got a little side view here of the aquarium. You can just get a sense of how just long it is. I think it's 8 feet. I think it's 8 feet long. Yeah, I just put that anemone in here. That's why it's kind of looking a little limp. So it's taking a while to adjust. Well, let's talk about the scape. We have some Carib Sea rock over here to the left, little cave system, and then we have the company's logo, MSPB. They really wanted that in this aquarium, so we made it out of rock to please them. Then over to the right, we have some more cave systems for the fish to feel comfortable in, but it's a very open, very breathable tank, plenty of swimming room, but you also get some caves for the fish to be able to hide in. And then, let's take a quick look at the filtration. Very basic, nothing too crazy. We still got some work to do down here. Basic sump here, given the budget we were working with. As that budget expands, we'll add a couple of more like bells and whistles on there. But all in all, I'm really excited for the future of this tank. Let me know what you think would look good in here. Down in the comments, let me know what you think of the tank as well. Next tank that we are visiting today. Now I got my orange filter on, so these corals are really popping right now. This is crazy how they look on camera. But yeah, look at those mushrooms right there. Holy moly, look at the... there's so many rock flowers in here that they're starting to spawn. Like there's babies everywhere. They started off with a couple, but they're just reproducing rock flowers like crazy. Mushrooms, all different types of mushrooms. You have Recordias, you have Discosomas, you have Redactus. Like you have every single mushroom you could possibly imagine in this aquarium. And then I love how the sand bed is just covered with rock flower anemones. And I love how they're just like little, like look at this little baby right there. Like that, look at the red on that. That's crazy. Got some trackies, got zoas. This tank is, like I said, it's about 8 to 10 years old, I believe. Acan's looking great color on those. But he's got every single, this is a true mixed reef. He has everything. The jack-o'-lantern, lepto, I mean, you have LPS, SPS, softies, everything in this aquarium. And to me, the mixed reef is definitely the hardest reef to take care of. Now, I wanted to show you guys this area right here. This whole left side, we redid. We took out a bunch of rock that was here and we replaced it and opened it up a lot more and put a bunch of new rock. That was just covered in waving hand anthelia. We trimmed it all back. That whole left side we trimmed back and we added a whole new area right there. And it's allowing us to put a little bit more desirable corals in there. See up there, we got a Tonga branch with some zoas on there. And it just gives us more room for these corals to breathe, more light for things like this Pavona to be able to grow a little bit better. But yeah, as I'm looking at this tank, I'm just kind of like just shocked about how many different types of corals are in here. And yeah, there's really badass, man. Look at this lepto. Now this thing was getting shaded out by the Monopora above it, but we got rid of we trimmed the Monopora back, and this thing has just gone wild ever since it got more light. And then look at the ball of hammer coral. I mean, this thing's like basketball size. This thing is massive. And for the most part, every coral in here is doing pretty good. Like the polyps are out. The color on them is all looking great. It's just, you guys don't understand. Like, there's growth. This tank has come such a long way. And have you ever seen Duncan coral this big in somebody's aquarium? That whole piece is a Duncan coral. Have you ever seen Duncan coral that big in somebody's tank? Like, I personally have never seen it. That's amazing. And then this Monopora is just absolutely, this Monopora cap is just jacked right here. We got to constantly, every time I come here, we come here once every 2 weeks, I'm constantly having to trim that. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to trim that way back. We're going to reorganize this whole area, and then we're going to start with a smaller piece because there's so many corals underneath here that are being shaded by it now that we really want to open up this area. So yeah, that way we get those corals to have more opportunity to grow, get more light. But this Monopora also is a detritus trap. Like this thing is like, it just traps so much detritus, and it just kind of blocks a lot of the flow in this area. And I think it'd just be better to kind of open it up a bit there. I do like that Monopora. I also love this green Monopora. We put that on that thing was growing like crazy. We had nowhere to put it, so we put it on the back there. We also, this whole right side again was reorganized and we added some more rock in here just because he's got so much coral that we wanted to have each of his coral to have its own real estate, its own space. So we were able to reorganize it in a way to he could still get more coral, and they weren't in competition, direct competition. I'm a big fan of pulsing xenia. I think it's a really pretty coral. You just gotta keep an eye on it. Chalices are doing good, and then we got some zoas down here on the substrate. Those eagle eyes are amazing. That's an underrated coral. I love that coral. And then this is a piece of bird's nest that fell off from the top that's growing down on the bottom. And then this giant cabbage, green cabbage coral that I just put in here today. That thing is Oh, it's so awesome. And a little Euphilia garden. We're starting over here. We're going to add a bunch more hammer coral in here and get a bunch more different colors of hammer. And this is a variation of like a Hollywood stunner chalice coral that's growing on the overflow. And that started off as a small frag and it's completely taken over that area. And pretty soon we'll have to trim that. And then this giant bubble coral, we moved all the way over to the right side to give it plenty of room. And echinata on the bottom. But yeah, this bubble coral now has plenty of room over on the side so that its little sweeper tentacles don't bother anybody. And it looks really, really good. As far as fish go, we have yellow chorus wrasse, we have swallowtail angel. We have 3 of those yellow chorus wrasse. We have orchard dottyback, green spotted puffer. There's 2 of them in here. And you have, of course, your clownfish. And what else we got in here? Another clownfish. Sorry about the glare, guys. Oh, and then we also have a little monopora growing on the return pump. I love that. Every square inch of this tank is just covered in coral. We've had to resort to like putting coral on the sand because there's like no room anymore. And maybe if we can clean up back there, maybe figure something out to get some more light back there. We can get more corals in the sand. And I know we got to clean up back there as well. But again, this tank is just packed with coral. And I couldn't be happier with the way it looks. She's an absolute beauty. So to end this whole video, I just want to say both those tanks are a perfect example of why this hobby is so important and why we here at Tanknicians and so many other people are fighting to keep this hobby alive in the state of Florida. You have one tank that's in a medical facility where customers are coming there and maybe feel a little bit of anxiety or anxiousness. That tanks in medical and doctors' offices help really alleviate some of that stress and anxiety. They're very therapeutic. And then the second aquarium at the residential residence, it's his baby. He's passionate about it. He works very hard and he comes home and he has something to be proud of. He really enjoys his aquarium and his family really enjoys it as well. They appreciate their pets. So you have just kind of 2 different perspectives there. And again, the reason why we here are pushing so hard to continue this hobby to exist in the state of Florida, and one of the reasons why I love doing it. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.